done by the time this video goes live. I meant to have this out yesterday, but I had some stuff come up. I have some just little notes and things that I've taken, and I'm gonna be a little bit all over the place here, but I'm basically just gonna start with the series that either I have a stronger opinion on one way or the other, or that I have more to talk about. Because admittedly, like, some of these teams, like, I just haven't really watched them this year. But so we'll kind of go all over the place here. Let's start with Clippers, Nuggets. And I'm assuming, yeah, it's home team on the right. Yeah, home team on the right. Now, this year with the Clippers, they have surprised me because Kawhi Leonard, he has been back, and he has stayed healthy, which at this point in his career, I didn't think that was possible, but he stayed healthy, and the Clippers have been killing it, so I took since the All-Star break, the Clippers are 3rd in offensive rating and 8th in defensive rating, and Kawhi Leonard over this stretch, he's averaging 25 points, 7 rebounds, 3.5 assists. James Harden has been popping off. As well, he kind of had a late push to make an All-NBA team there. They have guys like Powell that I think fill a good role, can be good scorers. And of course Zubac. Now Zubac is not going to shut down Jokic, because nobody can shut down Jokic. I'm making myself a little bit bigger here. But I think Zubac can match up well with Jokic. I think Zubac will score on Jokic pretty well. I think that it will impact him to a certain degree, and especially of Kawhi's defense as well. And then the other factor with this is the Nuggets, even though they are the 4th seed, they obviously took a big step back this year compared to last year. And they just fired their GM and head coach like just a couple days ago going into the playoffs, which I'll never understand. Like, why not wait till the playoffs are over? But Michael Malone is out. The GM is out. I can't remember his name at the moment. So I think having this team going into the playoffs without a head coach, they're going to have an interim head coach. I don't think that's a good move. Now, I don't think the Nuggets are going to get swept or anything because they do have Jokic. And Jokic, obviously, he's an MVP. He'll probably win MVP this year. It'll be a Mershey. Unless they already gave it out and I just wasn't paying attention. That's very possible. But we all know Jokic is that guy, and I think he can single-handedly carry the Nuggets to wins, even if the rest of the team isn't as up to snuff. So I don't think this will be a sweep, but like, give me the Clippers in 6. Give me the Clippers in 6. I'm not saying that's exactly what's going to happen, but I'll take that. I'll take the Clippers winning this in the 1st round. Alright, let's go now to Timberwolves, Lakers. Now, I think this is going to be a very interesting matchup because the Timberwolves have the obvious height advantage here. And the Lakers do not really have a good center. They have Jackson Hayes. I don't know who else they have at center. But the Lakers, the Timberwolves, their bigs are definitely going to be a mismatch for LA. And it's going to be interesting to me to see how the Lakers deal with that. Now, obviously, you have the sort of double X factor here of LeBron and Luka together in the playoffs, and they're two guys that turn it on that extra. They kind of take it up that extra notch when it is the playoffs. We saw just last year Luka Doncic basically single-handedly carrying the Dallas Dallas Mavericks to an NBA Finals on one good leg. So, and we've seen LeBron do that multiple times over his career, and it's going to come down to who your role players are around them and who your bigs are. Because I think with the Timberwolves, Gobert will be cooking you in the post, and I think that Randall will be cooking you in the post as well. They'll still have Naz Reid, but he can stretch out a bit. But I do think the Lakers will struggle with those bigs. But I think it's gonna take, you're gonna have games probably where LeBron is maybe your biggest player on the floor, and you have like an all forwards lineup. I think they probably will run some lineups where it's Luka, Braun, Rui, and then Reeves, and then maybe somebody else. I don't know, but I think that's going to probably be your most common lineup for the Lakers, and they will get beat in the post quite a bit. But I think that the Lakers, they should go far. I trust that you have two of the best players in the league, Luka and LeBron, playing together. I think they'll figure it out, especially in the first round. And I'll just go, I'll go Lakers in 6 as well. We'll come down here, Warriors, Rockets. The Rockets and the Thunder being the 1 and 2 seed, for me, is sort of surreal, and one of those like, oh man, I'm getting older moments, because like, as I've sort of pulled back a little bit from watching the NBA, these teams that when I was last like really hardcore, diehard paying attention to the NBA, the Rockets and the Thunder were down in the dumps, and now they're leading the West, so it's sort of interesting to me. But looking at these matchups, the Warriors really struggle with the Rockets' physicality. This is a big team. You have Thompson, who is a big guard, and you have a lot of physicality, a lot of size in this Rockets team, and the Warriors do not have the weapons that they had once upon a time. And looking at it, Steph Curry, he gets fewer shots off playing the Rockets than any other team. The Rockets actually neutralize Steph pretty well. They kind of force the other guys to beat them on this Warriors team. And there are some guys on this Warriors team that can beat them, but ultimately, I really only see this going one way, and I'm going to go Rockets in 5 against the Warriors. I think you'll have one game where Steph goes off, maybe somebody else gets hot, it might even be a close victory. I don't think this will be a sweep, but give me the Rockets in 5 here. And lastly, on this, I'm just going to take a Thunder sweep of the Grizzlies. The Thunder, or rather the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies have been 6th in offensive efficiency this year. They don't really waste possessions, and they score more than 100 points a game pretty much non-stop. But the Thunder are the best defensive team in the league, one of the best defensive teams of all time, really, if you look at it. Last year, that Minnesota Timberwolves team, we thought that was going to be the best defensive team of all time, and well, it kind of was, but this Thunder team is either like up there with them, or they've surpassed them. I haven't really dug into the stats, but I know they're very close. And Ja Morant is not 100%. I think he tweaked his ankle or something in the play-in. It's not going to keep him out of the playoffs. But it is going to impact his game, and this is going to be like the Grizzlies would need to basically be playing a perfect game, and the Thunder having an off night to beat them at all, and they're not going to be able to play a perfect game with Ja Morant not being at 100%. So I'm going to go with the Thunder. They're sweeping. So those are my predictions for the Western Conference. I have the Thunder sweeping the Grizzlies, the Clippers beating the Nuggets in 6, the Lakers beating the Timberwolves in 6, and the Rockets beating the Warriors in 5. Now I'm just gonna move my my camera here, and then we'll talk about the East. All right, I'm gonna start with the Bucks Pacers, because to be honest, that's the only matchup here I really have a strong opinion on, one way or the other. guys know, unfortunately, I just don't get to watch that much Eastern Conference basketball. But this Pacers team, they had a very slow start to the season. They came back, they got home court advantage here, top 4 seed. And I think that this Bucks team is really going to struggle with them now. The good news for the Bucks, and I mean really if you're just a basketball fan in general, or Damian Lillard's deep vein thrombosis is better. Honestly, I was very concerned that he was going to have to medically retire, because I know that can be a big issue for guys. But thankfully, he is better now. And they're saying that he will be playing in the first round, but just not in the first game. So maybe in game 3, when they go back to Milwaukee, that'll be his first game back in the playoffs. But I don't think Dame will be at 100%. Obviously, he hasn't been able to practice or anything while dealing with this because of the blood clotting issues and whatever else. So he's just been literally like sitting on the couch. They wouldn't have been allowing him in the gym. He couldn't work out. He couldn't put up shots. So he will be rusty. And I think like this Bucks team, the roster construction, I've constantly talked about how I don't like it. Brook Lopez is really going to struggle with this Pacers team, and their size, especially like Brook Lopez. I don't think Brook Lopez is going to be able to get much going here. I don't think he can guard Siakam. Like Siakam and Turner are both going to be cooking him. He's old and he's slow. And then your other big in Milwaukee, you have Kyle Kuzma, and they really seem to put a lot of weight on Kyle Kuzma, and they expect a lot out of him, but I just don't think Kyle Kuzma is going to be a guy you can rely on in the playoffs to get it done. And I think that the size, the athletic advantage of this Pacers team, the Bucks is basically going to be 1.5 guys, and I think that over the course of the series, I'm going to take Pacers in 6 there. I'll take Pacers in 6. Now let's come to the top here. Again, the rest of these I'm going to kind of just be shooting from the hip a little bit. The Heat put up very good performances in the play-in, and they looked really, really good, very convincing. But this Cavaliers team is a totally different beast. They didn't even have... Yet they're the only team in the East to not have at least 20 losses. And one of only 2 teams in the entire league to not have 20 losses. They're just a completely different beast. And I think they'll sweep the Heat. So I'm going to take the Cavs in 4. And they're going to get plenty of rest for their second round matchup. This Pistons-Knicks series I actually think is going to be very interesting. And I actually, this feels like it could somewhat be 50-50, like 60-40. The Knicks have a very good defense. They have 2 all-defensive guys. But Cade Cunningham, basically every matchup against the Knicks has absolutely cooked them. Bridges on offense has not been the impact that the Knicks have wanted. We know Karl-Anthony Towns is not good on D. Brunson's not good on D. And I think that the Pistons there'll be a couple games, I think, where the Pistons blow out the Knicks. I think ultimately the Knicks win it, but I'm going to take the Knicks winning it in 7. I think this is going to be a very interesting series overall. Maybe, for me, the most exciting matchup in the Eastern Conference in the first round, just because the Pistons are still a young team. They don't have that experience. The Knicks have the playoff experience, and they have a lot of very talented players on their roster. I predicted them to be better, more imposing than they ended up being this year, which is funny because we're talking about a team that was a 2 seed, but I really thought they were going to be more dominant than they ended up being. When I was kind of looking at the preseason, looking at who I thought would be where, I thought they'd be a 1 or 2 seed in the East. They're still top 3, but the East overall was just weaker than I expected it to be this year. And finally, Magic Celtics. The Celtics are still my favorite to win a title. I think it'll be a Celtics Thunder final. I'm going to predict that right now. Now, Jaylen Brown, from what I understand, has been dealing with some lingering injury issues this year. But I don't know if you need a healthy Jaylen Brown to beat the Magic. The Magic is a team on the up, but they're not there yet. There's a Celtics team coming off of a title, and I expect them to pretty comfortably handle the Magic here. I expect a sweep. There might be one or two close games, but I will expect a sweep here. And the Celtics to get plenty of rest as they go on to prepare for the next round of the playoffs, which, if I get this, what does round 2 look like? Clippers, Thunder, Lakers, Rockets, Pacers, Cavs, Knicks, Celtics. Yeah. That's what I'm predicting to be our round 2 matchup right there. Clippers, Thunder, Lakers, Rockets, Cavs, Pacers, Knicks, Celtics. Knicks, Celtics. The toxicity that would come out of those matchups between the fan bases on social media would be next level. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the video. Again, I'm sorry this came out a day later than I was hoping it would. Yeah, I just had some stuff come up and I was unable to get it out earlier, but I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this every single week.